Hey everybody! Hello and welcome to the UTA Season 6 Pickems. Today I'll be having on my cast Exo from the Exostomp Excadrills. If you'd like to say hi.
Haha, what's going on, UTA community? It's your boy Exostomp.
Now, for this first week of Pick'ems, it will just be EXO. However, in following weeks, we will also be having Dinny, who is not actually competing this season, however, but will be helping us in Pick'ems. We do still have his picks, as well as 3 other people who are on the Pick'ems crew, but just won't be part of the videos. And real quick, I'll introduce them. So from left to right, it's myself, then EXO, then Dinny, then we'll have Twee. Then we have Burger, and then we'll have Rabbit. So those are the 6 people who are going to be on the Pick'ems crew this season. And yeah, so the first matchup is actually going to be Exostomp and his own team versus Flygon. And as you can see from people's picks, it's kind of mixed for who we think will win. So Exo, this is your team. You can take it away to start off with.
Ooh, alright, so I think this is gonna be probably my hardest matchup this season, quite honestly, because even though, like, it may look like I do have the matchup, it still is a really nice looking team, because, like, the Urshifu, Gengar, I mean, look at the first, even just 4 Pokemon are just scary, because
It's going to be hard to break them, yeah. A lot is really resting on this Buzzwall, and with things like Moltres and Noivern, able to just kind of come in anytime, and even Orbeetle, really, to kind of switch in off of Urshifu. You're going to have a little bit of fun trying to predict what you want to click there.
Yeah, I'm still technically building for this because I'm not 100% sure what I want to bring because it's a team that could really bring anything, and I think that's what me and Flygons have in common with like our teams this season. So it's gonna be really tough to build for.
Yeah, there's definitely a few teams this season that are really flexible for how they can bring things, and U2 starting off is it's really gonna set the pace for both these teams because in the pure division, these are considered like one of the two contending for playoffs for like which is gonna be like top seed, which is gonna make playoffs. Even though personally I think they're both gonna make playoffs, but I think this first match is definitely going to put it in the air. With Urshifu literally being able to take out everything on your team, nothing really wants to switch in aside from that Buzzwall, you're going to have some trouble. But then again, Excadrill kind of robs the floor with Flygon's team. I mean, with just 3 moves and Sword Stance, it can take care of everything. I think the only mon that can actually take a hit and like stay in would be like Slowking or Steelix on Excadrill, because I don't think an Earthquake, even +2 Hoko Steelix if he's max. So I think you'll have to play around that a little bit. Especially with Sand Force on Steelix on your own sand, he's gonna hurt a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah.
But like, going through this, I think this is really going to be based on what Flygon brings. Because I think regardless of what you bring, you'll have the edge overall, which is why I went over to him. But this is not going to be a clean game. Personally, I don't think it. That's why I said I don't think it's going to be a clean game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the 2-0 thing, but I was like, you know what? I gotta be confident in myself. So I put 4-0.
I mean, hey, you got nothing to lose, right? And only to gain.
Yeah, this is I don't know. I even said it's gonna be a tough match, but I still put it 4-0. I don't ask me why, honestly, but
hey, you gotta give yourself confidence somehow, right?
Yeah, I think you are right with the Slowking Steelix thing, but I don't know. I guess Steelix looks okay in this matchup. Yeah, it probably is coming because of Sand Force and I have Sand, but who knows? Maybe I don't even bring Sand. Maybe I just bring like Scarf Excadrill to outspeed, Gengar and Urshifu and whatnot. But
possibly could bring maybe Mold Breaker to try to break Rod and Frost.
Yeah,
even though that's not really necessary, given you could just Iron Head. But
nah. It still does more technically.
Yeah, it would do more because Iron Head would be neutral because it's part electric.
Yeah. But yeah, like I have options. But so does he. So, oh god, I am not looking forward to this match.
This is gonna be a rough match. I think I think what's definitely going to be the biggest factor of risk for your team is that your lackluster speed control outside of sand is really going to show in these matches where like you kind of really you almost don't want to bring sand because of like you don't want to empower Steelix and you don't necessarily need sand. Perhaps maybe Scarf would be better, but this matchup in particular, like with the speed control of both like Noivern and Gengar, you're gonna, and plus the fact that he has webs on his team, which can completely hinder your sand control altogether. I think it's going to really pressure your speed control just for the fact of everything on his team hits hard. It hits really hard. And I think that might be a problem for you in your matchup personally. But obviously you don't want to point out too much about your matchup because you don't want to give away anything. But from an onlooker perspective, that's what I see specifically on Flygon's thing. However, I did go for you more because I think that while Flygon has a lot of tools to come back into this, I do think he's going to be a little bit... Like, he's pressuring you, but you're also pressuring him with the fact of you probably have one of the better counters to Urshifu in the tier. And Flygon's team is built around Urshifu clicking buttons, and the rest of his team supporting Mons that don't let him do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you put it great into words, because, like, honestly, I mean, everyone knows I'm gonna bring Buzzwole because, like, I have to basically.
You're not bringing it. Like, I do think you're a little bit forced to bring both. Like, I think X-Control, Buzzwole are both coming. I think Cinderace is almost even like a little bit pressure to come just because you need some form of speed. And if not Cinderace, a Scarfer. If not, Unsand and X-Control. Obviously, T-Tar comes if you bring Sand. Then you kind of have to play this game of hooky of like, what else do you want, right? So,
yeah, there's definitely a few mons that well, everything technically can come. Everything has a purpose on my team, and I think everything still fits. Like, maybe I bring Miltank for rocks plus, you know, what's it called? Body Slam for Paras, or what? Maybe I bring Rotom for Will-O-Wisp for the Urshifu, whatever. Everything has a purpose on my team, but it technically can come.
Doesn't mean it wants to.
Well, yeah, it does. Yeah, that's true. It doesn't mean that it always wants to, but one thing's for sure, I'm bringing Buzzwole 100%. Who knows? Maybe Flygon just doesn't bring Urshifu, and I just
you know what? Maybe if you say a prayer and do a rain dance, literally, maybe Urshifu won't come. It's Sandstorm. Maybe it won't come. But either way, continuing on, our next matchup is going to be Poketai versus Twee. Now, this is a matchup that has sparked some controversy, but not because it's a close matchup. It's because Twee has gone on record saying that he's very confident in this matchup, and he's said multiple times that he doesn't see how Tai wins this. Now, obviously, you disagree with that. And why is that?
Yeah, I disagree with it. Mainly because I really like Infernape's matchup here. I think Infernape could do really nice. Like U-turn pivot. It's of course coming because I think Scizor is just so scary, but I guess it doesn't technically have to. I just think it's really good in this matchup because it hits the Umbreon hard, hits the Tangrowth, hits the Scizor. Does it? Does it have Gunk Shot or I know what his
does have Gunk Shot.
It's like it can hit Finny
and
as
it's
well.
also his Z user.
Yeah, so I think it's such just as Infernape has a nice matchup, and then like I don't know. I mean, I think Tai can do it because he's had some crazier teams before, and I think this can definitely do some work, especially because like also the Mamoswine is really nice in this matchup as well. Like both those mons they just sort of hit a button and kill something.
Yeah. So the thing with Twee's team is that a lot of us have teased him about, and he's disagree with, is that his team is lacking in offensive pressure. Now his team hits very hard. Don't get us wrong. It's just that he doesn't have a Z Infernape on his team, right? He doesn't have an Urshifu or like an Excadrill in Sand, right? He has nothing on his team that is going to force 5 out of 6 of your mons to have a way to beat it, right? But the one thing that Tweak does have is that everything on his team takes hits, especially with his regenerator core and being able to bounce back and forth. The one thing within Mox, because obviously I'm not going to say what happened in Mox, but the one thing I did notice is that, like, Ty's team in particular has to play a certain way. At least when I'm doing it, because Ty plays very differently than I do, obviously. But like overall, it's a Ty team, and you can never underestimate a Ty team. And I've known Ty now for almost 2 years, going on 2 years, something like that. And he has drafted wacky team after wacky team, but this is definitely the team where I'm looking at it and this is an awkward team, but it's also a little awkward to prep for. So I think realistically, it's just gonna depend on what the fuck happens, what hacks is gonna be. Because while Invernate goes through this team, like Invernate gets revenge killed by like Mienshao or Dodrio, and then you have to keep in mind that like Invernate can't touch Turtonator unless he's like Z ground. So you have things like that. You have things to where, like, once again, like, Infinite, yeah, it is Gunk Shot, but it probably has to use Z Gunk Shot to kill Feeny, if that. And, like, Umbreon, obviously, close combat and stuff like that. Nidoking Poko's it, so he can't switch it in. And I think a lot of Ty's team really relies on the fact of his Infernape's really pressured. And if your team is based off an Infernape, I think it's a little awkward, in my opinion. Plus, he didn't need Guzzlord, let's be real here. He could have picked any other Dark type in Tier 5. You didn't need a second dragon.
Yeah. I mean, hey, Guzzlord is a good Tier 5, but I just don't... I mean, look, there's no hidden power fairy, right? So it's not the worst.
You're right, there is no hidden power fairy. However, it's still a Guzzlord.
Hey, man.
And it being his second dragon on the team.
You need 2 always. Come on. Best type.
Oh, yeah. With other teams having, like, 0. So, yeah. So you think this is going to be, like, a close match, but you're going for Ty, huh? Think that Infinite's just going to do too much?
Yeah, I think because I feel like this is a little bit new for Twee, where it's, like, a little bit more defensive than offensive, because usually runs a little bit more offensive. And so I feel like Ty is just in his natural habitat of picking things that he's good with.
Shit.
Well, but yeah, that too. And I think it's gonna be sort of like a learning like week 1 game, and then he'll get into it and he'll start winning. But yeah, I think Ty's gonna win this one. So
yeah, personally, I think this matchup is really pertinent for Twee, because if he loses this matchup, I don't think he's gonna have a good season because of his just his like overall persona of like when he's one of those people who's very emotionally driven. So like if he does well, he's doing really well, but if he's doing bad, he's doing really bad. And given that this is like collectively the best team he's ever drafted overall throughout his seasons in UTA, if he loses this first match with how confident he's been so far, I think it'll definitely put a dent in his confidence going forward, and it's gonna hurt. But if he wins this, I think he makes playoffs. So personally, I think he can do it. I think this matchup is really just gonna be based on that. So a lot's riding on it.
That's a big prediction there.
It's a big prediction, but his team is easily like playoff material. It's just a matter of can he use the team correctly. And I think this like Ty is almost the perfect week 1 to show him if he can use it right, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of tough, though, because, like, Ty is going to bring out some random stuff.
That's
so
the point.
I don't know how
That's the point. If Twee can think on his feet and be able to beat it, I think he's going to do really well this season.
I guess that's fair, yeah.
So, going forward, we're taking a good amount of time, and, wow, actually, I'm next. I'm not going to say too much about this matchup myself. Obviously, I'll let you talk more. But I, for one, actually have a good matchup, in my opinion. I think this is an interesting matchup because I have a little bit more freedom on what I could bring than Burger does,
Yeah.
and I think my team's success is strictly based on the fact of what Burger's team can handle. And I guess I'll leave it at that because I don't want to reveal too much. But I really like my team going into this.
Yeah, I think on paper your team definitely does some work, and it does sort of hinder Burger's mons that he can bring, like matchup wise, because he needs to bring a few mons. I feel like
Yeah,
Mega Aggron sort of has to come because it's a mon that can take hits from Melmetal very easily. But Talonflame can also do that, but Rock Slide's there, so it's kind of
yeah.
annoying.
Double Iron Bash still destroys Talonflame. Talonflame would only really be able to stop him if he gets a burn halfway through.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does not want to take 2 hits.
Yeah, well, I don't know. If it's like max defense or something, it could probably take two and then just wrist stall or something until burn. But it really depends because like if you bring I don't know protective pads or something, you'll never get burned. So, but I think stuff like there's a few things that have to come. I think Mew also sort of has to come because besides like the Persian and the Rotom, like they're not that scary. So I think Mew is sort of free in this match. But let's see. I don't know. I personally like Burger's matchup a little bit better. I know it doesn't look like it on paper, but
I understand what you're coming
I don't
from.
know.
Trust me. After doing some calcs, I understand what you're coming from. And I
Ah,
guess it's mostly centered around the Mew because it really just depends on what set he brings.
yeah.
Because I have a contingency plan for basically every set that he could run. Um However, it's really a gamble on which set he brings on Mew. And I think that if he brings the wrong set, I don't think he wins. So it really just depends on his prep.
Yeah, I think prep wise he needs to prep correctly around things. Uh yeah, I could see a few things he could bring, even like Rindo Suicune. If it's like Calm Mind, you go into Rillaboom, then he like Ice Beams you on the Rindo, and then it just like kills or whatever. But I don't know. There's a few things that can happen. I definitely think that it's gonna be a close match, but I don't know who's gonna win yet. I mean, you guys know DDA luck, all right? So you never
I do
know.
have DDA luck, but however, Burger is one of the only people in UTA that DDA luck does not come into factor. In fact, the last 3 seasons, I think it's been 2 seasons. The last 2 seasons in a row, both season 4 and season 5, he beat me 1-0, and if I would have hit like last season, if I would have hit the Will-O-Wisp on turn 1, I won that game. But I missed it. So
He's broken the curse.
Burger is the one person that can handle DDA luck, and it's very sad. In UTA, I haven't beaten Burger yet, technically. But aside from one season, he's always beat me 1-0. It's always been very close, except for one season where he just manhandled me. But then again, I was also like half asleep and shit when I'm doing that, and that's just excuses. But regardless, it's usually been just a 1-0. And I think this is the one season where I don't see it coming a 1-0. Regardless if he wins or not. I don't think it's going to be a 1-0.
Burger says 6-0.
Burger said 6-0 because Burger says 6-0. Burger knows for a fact it's not being a 6-0.
No.
He's saying 6-0, which I'm thinking that's quote unquote teasing his Mew set a little bit. But we'll see how that really goes.
You'll never know. Maybe it's SD Talonflame. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know what SD Talonflame's gonna do to Slowbro, but
It's gonna do nothing. I
I don't know what it's gonna do to Slowbro, but you know. But it's definitely gonna be an interesting game overall because I think this is his Garchomp's like worst matchup, personally, in my opinion. With things like Weezing Galar, Slowbro, Piloswine, and Rillaboom, and just basically everyone on my team kind of could just sit in front of Garchomp. And it's kind of sad, honestly, to the point of where like I'm honestly wouldn't be surprised if he just decides to not bring it, or decides to just bring it like defensively. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be rough skin, Rocky Helmet, max HP, fucking Stealth Rock Toxic.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because honestly, Slowbro and Weezing can sort of stand... Well, more Weezing can stand in front of it, because the Levitate plus the Fairy typing, it's sort of hard to break, so...
Yeah, the only thing that Garchomp could possibly do to break it would be Iron Head, and obviously he is a Z user, so he could try to do that, but then he has to worry about, okay, is Weezing just going to sit there and just, like, Will-O-Wisp me? Is it just going to Strange Steam me? Is it, like, what's going to happen? So, yeah. Like, he does have to be a little bit careful about that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, overall, I think it's going to be a fun game. So, continuing on is, I think this is the only matchup where no one voted for the other person.
Right.
So, this is Mitch versus Boop, and everyone voted Boop. Twee and Rabbit both locked on Boop as well. So yeah, we all voted Boop. Even like the people who usually play Devil's Advocate, like Diddy and stuff. But nope, Boop, all the way.
Well, I think that says something about the matchup.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a wee bit.
Like, tell me what switches into a Swampert effectively.
Mantine is his only switch in.
That's it. That's the only mine, okay?
But doesn't Swampert get Thunder Punch though?
Oh, it does. No, I don't.
I don't. It gets Ice Punch. Right. Does it get Thunder Punch?
It gets Ice Punch. I don't think it gets Thunder. I think you're insane.
If it gets Thunder Punch.
Hold on. I don't think it gets Thunder Punch.
If it gets Thunder Punch.
It doesn't get Thunder Punch.
Oh thank fuck. But like, I'm just like overall, like Mantine's the only mon that can sit on like Swampert and stuff like that. And Thunder's Therian as well is going to be a mon that's going to be interesting because Zapdos can't really touch it, and it can kind of set up freely. It does have Grass Knots, so it does have ways to break things. So I think like a Thundurus, like Nasty Plot Thundurus with like Grass Knot, T-Bolt, and then like another coverage move of some kind. I don't know what other coverage move would run. Maybe HP Fire to try to break Ferrothorn.
Yeah.
Or like HP Fighting, so it doesn't get affected by rain. Oh, it doesn't get Focus Blast? Does Thunder T get Focus Blast? I think it does.
I feel like it does.
So yeah, it would probably just run the Focus Blast then. But I think that's kind of only thing that breaks this. Now, KHC does have Brainloom, which everyone knows the Brainloom set of Focus Sash, Spore, fucking click a button after. However, Boop's team is like 99% of the time going to lead either Ferrothorn or Pelipper. In fact, Boop's probably going to lead Pelipper, hard switch it to Ferrothorn on the Spore. So I don't know really that much that does here. Mega Mawile does nothing in this matchup. Very little. It can't really touch anything. Zapdos and Ferrothorn, two of the best counters to Mega Mawile, just on the same team. It's not touching shit. Dancy's not coming. It's just not coming. I don't think Donphan's coming either. Slazzle doesn't show up to this matchup.
But Zangoose.
Put that Zangoose, though. I don't know. Toxic Orb Zangoose could go ham.
It could.
I feel like this is Boop's game to lose. If Boop loses this game, it's because he fucked up. I don't think this is a Mitch outplay game. I think this is a Boop fucked up game.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you said 1-0. You think this is going to be a close game?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like there's potential that like Mitchell can maybe get an SDL with Mawile or something and
get a nasty in a Mawile. Well, like a good switch in, but like Mawile literally can't touch Ferrothorn. Break is like its best thing for it.
Hold on, doesn't it have that one move? Hold on, let me.
Fire Fang?
No, well, no. That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking
Are you talking about Focus Punch?
Yes, I am. Focus Punch. There you go.
It's gonna sub Focus Punch. Hell yeah.
Maybe. Yo, on the Ferrothorn, that's easy. You're laughing now. It'll come.
Oh, I'm sure Mitch will bring it. I'm not worried about that. I'm just worried in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would be a major just misplay by Boop if he loses this game. Personally, it's very rare where a matchup where like you literally can't lose this unless you fuck up, but this is one of those scenarios in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So next one, a thing that's close to it's up to if you fuck up or not. Is Skinny versus North. Both of us locked on this match. Both me, you, and Burger locked on this match. Skinny's team is shit. Like, what's saving Skinny's team right now is that he has the #1 pick in the game, which is Lando I, and he has a really good Mega.
That's about it.
That's when his team just drops extensively. He did make some changes, however, he will not have them for this first week. But given that his team now, he has a Rain Core of Actors Ult and a Lowland Vulpix. Not Ninetales, Vulpix.
It's a good tier 5. Come on.
Is it a good tier 5? Possibly. Is it a free kill? Yes.
Also very true, yes.
Like, Tingala at least could take hits and do things back with, like, Leech Seed and Toxic and shit. Vulpix isn't doing shit. It's setting up a Royvale and then dying, and that is its job. It can't even run Light Clay. Like, that's the worst part here. Vulpix can't afford to run Light Clay.
Yes, it can.
It won't survive a hit. It won't survive a hit.
Yeah, you gotta pray it's faster.
You gotta pray it's what's its space speed? Like 60? 70 maybe?
Nah, it's 65. Come on
65.
now. You gotta just pray that it's faster than that.
So here's the thing, though. If it's running a wait, does Vulpix Alolan even get a Royvale, or is it only Ninetales?
No, it gets a Royvale and Freeze Dry.
Okay, so like, it sets up a Royvale, right? But does it run Light Clay for the Royvale, or does it run like the Icy Rock for Atrazult? That's the question, and that's the problem here. And the thing is, Vulpix Alolan is more setup fodder than Toxapex.
That's not true, man.
I'm looking at Nord's team, and I personally am going to ask this question. If Bronzong brought setup, what does Skinny do? That's how bad his matchup is, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
That's how bad his matchup is.
It's kind of a bad thing when a Bronzong can set up on your whole team.
Exactly.
Man brings Calm Mind Iron Defense. What do you do?
What do you do? It's like one of those like word problems in math class. You're like, all right, so Johnny brings Bronzong to the matchup. He has Calm Mind and Iron Defense. How long does it take for you to lose the match?
About 20 turns.
20 turns. Something wrong there. Skinny doesn't have a Dark type. So, he literally can just bring Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Stored Power, Bronzong.
Yep.
That's sad. That's sad.
Can eat one? Alright.
It just runs Shadow Ball as his like last move, or like maybe Rest as his last move, or something.
It probably Rest, yeah.
Well, not with Coco, but still.
God. You don't. Nah, he doesn't even look. Honestly, he's not gonna be resting on like the first 5 turns, anyways, in my opinion. But,
yeah. All right, so let's look at the rest of this matchup, other than the meme Bronzong setup. Metacham.
You mean that thing wins?
Metacham just clicks buttons. I mean, Cresselia can take some hits because Metacham doesn't have Psychic type coverage, which is the reason why Mega Glade's better, because Mega Glade gets knockoff and Shadow Sneak, whereas Mega Metachamp doesn't have that kind of coverage. So at least Skinny's got that going for him. Coco is just free. HB Ice Coco is just the freest thing in this matchup. It's free. Krookodile is free against Charizard. Always comes in on it. Always like just intimidate it. Always just it's free. Honestly, Swallow Boom Burst also just kind of goes in as well. Honestly, I think North can kind of just 2v2 with all of his mons and still come out perfectly fine.
I agree with that. Yeah. It's kind of tough because like I don't see a way Skinny wins this
I
unless
don't see how Skinny wins this unless North is the biggest thrower in existence.
yeah, pretty much.
Like, I just don't see it.
What about Dragon Dance Charizard? No, Vaporeon.
Intimidate Crocodile, Vaporeon with Haze.
Brunerigus
As well.
Yo, Tangela can eat one. Alright, at +1.
Honestly, it probably can.
It can, man.
Honestly, it probably can.
Eat one and sleep now.
Enough memeing on Skinny. Skinny's a good guy, but God, your team's shit. Alright, next matchup. Alright, so now we're getting to the territory of matchups that already happened. This is the one matchup that happened that we did actually put in our votes for. And all of us were wrong, except for Rabbit. Rabbit actually was right. Spooks won this matchup. This was a close game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was extremely close.
Like, we all voted Solo, but, like, in the actual game itself, it was so interesting because it was Solo's game to lose.
Yeah.
However, Spooks put him in a situation where he had to make 3 50-50s in a row. In a fucking row. And that was the only way Solo could win in that situation. Which is the worst position to be in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if he made that... I think it was like one of the last turns. If he did switch, he still could have won. It was tough. It was really tough at the end because like
yes, we were doing the math and the scenarios with like the Zera like 1 HP with the lot 1 HP and then the Celesteela who was asleep and then the Rotom. In that situation, Solo had to make 3 different predictions. He had to make the decision to stay in or switch out based on if Spooks is going to stay in or switch out. He then would have to make another decision, either click Defog or click Overheat. Then he would have to make a decision on what does he hard switch before clicking Defog or Overheat. He had to make all 3 of those decisions at once because of the fact of this position he was in. If he got any of those wrong, he lost, and he got the first one wrong, so he lost.
Yeah,
and it was just rough because Spooks had to make the same exact 50-50s. Because if Solo made the first 50-50 right, both of them would still have to make the 50-50. So the fact that they were in a situation where they both had to make 3 in a row, or like, unless Spooks won the first one, obviously then. But like, if Solo got the first one, he would have to make all 3 in a row right to be able to win. Spooks only had to get 1 right to win. And that's just a rough situation to be in. I feel bad. And Diddy's going to really feel bad because he lost points off this game. I don't know why he locked on this, man. Don't lock against Spooks. That's not smart.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I feel like both players play well, and I think locking on a game like this, you're just
it's
asking.
Not smart. Yeah,
points.
No. Never lock unless all the matchups are rough. Never lock on a matchup that both players are very good players. Like Solo and Spooks, there's a reason why their teams are top. Not even just because they drafted well, because they're just top players. Both in the division and in the season. So, I mean, you have Spooks, who was the champion of season, what was it, 4? Yeah, he was the champion of season 4. Solo, who was the he was a finalist in season 5. So, and that was his first season. So, the fact that both of these people in their first season made it to finals, Spooks obviously winning and Solo unfortunately not, is a testament that they're top players. But yeah, there's not really too much to say about this matchup, other than the fact of that was a good game. Like, that was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
So we do have 2 more games left to talk about, but we're just going to talk them very briefly because I'm not counting for points. Obviously, Dr. Ugly and Panda also played this week. Panda won, and Panda won because Subdracovish is Subdracovish. And Panda has gone on record in saying that he's only bringing Banded Dracovish once and Scarf Dracovish once in the whole round robin season. Now, how accurate that's going to be, I don't know, but that is what he said.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, I mean, I'm pretty sure most, if not all of us, were gonna guess that Panda's gonna win.
We were all gonna guess Panda. I don't think anyone was gonna vote Dog. Dog did not have a good matchup.
Yeah.
Nor does Doc have a good team. So, you know, it's a double-edged sword at that.
Yeah, I think I do want to see what Panda does with this. Like, I've seen a few sets because Dracovish is surprisingly tanky. Like, you can run AV, Rocky Helm, like it's like crazy.
Everyone's like praises it for its like offensive pressure, but then and they look at the stats, they're like, man, it's like average, like sub-average stats. However, they're all dancing around like the 70s. Like the lowest I think is 70 something. It's probably like special attack or something, and then the highest is like 100. It's like HP 100 or something.
It's so weird.
Yeah, like the funny thing is, all the fossils from Gen 8, they're not offensive stats. They're like really odd stats, but it's because of the moves that they got in Bulk Beak and Vicious Rend that really sets them apart. And it's just with Strong Jaw working for Vicious Rend, and then Hustle on like Draco's ult is the only reason why they're doing good. It's just because they have boosts from their abilities and their moves. And I think that's so odd, because there's not a lot of Pokemon that is like that, where they're only good because of their move and their ability together. And like their stats are barely good. I think the only mons that actually that apply to is like Azumarill and because Azumarill gets huge power even though it has a base 50 attack. What's another mon that is only good because of like an ability?
An ability or an attack?
Together, like either one. Like maybe like one attack or like an ability is the only reason why it's even decent.
It's kind of tough.
Yeah, because there's not a lot.
Yeah.
I guess I would say like most rain setters, like Pelipper and Politoed, are only good because they set rain.
Yeah,
but I think that's a little bit. I think that's a little bit nitpicky because.
Oh, what about the Reggies? Regieleki and Draco.
Oh yeah, Reggie and Draco with the Transistor and Dragon's Maw, or what I think it's called.
Yeah.
And with obviously Dragon Energy being Eruption for Dragon types, it's also a really good one. But their abilities are really the only reason why they're good. I mean, Regieleki with a base 200 speed is going to be a decent mon, even though it has 0 coverage. What, like, literally 0.
But yeah, the thing is, it's basically just
it's a gimmick mon.
I would say it's quote unquote like a faster Jolteon, but because of that ability, like boosting it,
it's
so
definitely
high,
better. Yeah,
it's 100% better. So yeah.
The thing is, like, Regieleki though doesn't feel good unless it's in Electric Terrain, which feels weird, right? Like it's a mon that almost needs Electric Terrain because, like Rising Voltage Regieleki in Electric Terrain.
It's good. I just think. I mean, Electro Ball.
Is also a really good secondary, and the fact that Regieleki gets Rapid Spin too is overkill, but interesting. Because the funny thing about Regieleki is you can put a minus in your speed stat and still outspeed every single Pokemon in the game.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of nutty.
Yeah. Anyways, let's move on.
And then the last team obviously was Cross versus Cambet. Which did Cross versus Cambet play first, or was it Panda versus Doc that played first? I think it was Cross v Cambet, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but obviously this is probably the one matchup where, because both teams are so odd, I think there would have been a mix between our votes overall. Obviously Cross won in the end. But I think this probably would have been a more close match just because of how awkward these teams are.
I don't know, man. Do you see that Sandslash and Colossal? Do you see it?
I do see them. I think
They
that's
didn't come,
probably
but
the.
I would have voted with them.
I think that's the only reason you would have voted them.
That is correct.
Well, either way, that was the pickups for week 1. But as we will continue on, we'll do pick'ems for the rest of the weeks as well, and hopefully Diddy will be able to join us for those as well. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end this, Exo?
Yeah. Check out low tier legends. You see them on the screen. They go Sandslash and Colossal. I got a YouTube channel.
Shameless advertising, I see.
Of course.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, and hopefully you'll be able to join me for the rest of the weeks as well. Hopefully nothing crazy happens to you.
God,
Foreshadowing.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But either way, thank you all for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like and comment down below. Subscribe if you'd like to. Could use a little bit more. I think I only have like 18 right now, so if you'd like to, it's perfectly free. That's all I got for you today. So see you guys next time.